All right, hello everybody. Here's a quick little video on unit conversions. You're going to find, especially on the number sense test, periodically on the calculator general math test. Plus, they're just things that you just need to know in general. They're going to ask you to be doing conversions, and I'm going to be honest with you. You either memorize these conversions so that you just know them the rest of your life, or you miss them every time on the test. So what you're going to notice is there's going to be a lot, and I do mean a lot of cards on conversions. Okay, I have uh, I have torn apart um, TMSCA number sense tests, calculator tests, and general math tests for years, probably 15 plus years. And every time I found a conversion that my students needed to know, I'd turn them into a flashcard. So these flashcards are here. These units are here because I have seen them on a test. Okay, I did not waste your time with stuff that you wouldn't necessarily need. But these are things that you do need to know. Remember, the green cards are the ones you need to learn first, followed by the blue and the green, or the blue and then the red. Okay, so it goes green, blue, and red. I would focus on these green ones first. If you're only working on number sense, I would ignore cards that say calculator or general math. But if you're working just on number sense, work on those cards. So I'm just going to quickly go through these, right? Pounds to ounces, tons to pounds. Keep in mind sometimes that I have an approximation. Sometimes in the approximation problems on the number sense test, they'll ask you just to get close to it. So a metric ton is about 2,204 pounds, which is a little bit more than a regular ton. Normally on a number sense test, it wouldn't affect you, but it might be on a general math test if the number of tons was big enough, it could affect each other. So there's one. Make sure. I used to have a card called the Gallon Man. You might want to look it up, right? But converting between the customary units of measuring volumes, right? Cups, pints, quarts. You might look up the volume, the Gallon Man to look at these. Make sure you know these. The way I teach my students to learn the metric system is kangaroos hop down mountains drinking chocolate milk, right? That's the way I do it with my students. Keep in mind that mountains is meters, but meters could also be grams. Meters could also be grams or liters. So meters, liters, and grams. That's what this one is. This could be meters, liters, and grams, right? So if you're going from, say, kilograms to decigrams, right? So say you're going from kilograms to decigrams, right? What you would do is if, I don't know, say it's 2 kilograms, and you're turning those into decigrams, all you have to do is figure out how many jumps it takes you to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4. The way I would do it is I would say, I'm going from kilo, I would say kangaroos, and then I would count on my fingers, hop down mountains drinking. That is 4 jumps, so 2 kilograms with 4 jumps would be a 2 with 4 zeros, right? So I count on my fingers. So I would say kangaroos. I don't count kangaroos, so I say hop down mountains drinking, and that would be 4 jumps, and so I would add 4 zeros to the end of the number. Also keep in mind that millions is mega and billions is giga. I don't see those very often, but if they ever did pop up, I have seen them on, where are they? I think I've seen them on calculator tests, yeah. So just keep that in mind. Definitely know 1 gallon is 128 ounces and 1 cup is 8 ounces. Guys, I cannot stress to you enough. I see those all the time on the test, and people ask me about them. A huge one is 1 gallon equals how many inches cubed. I do think I have a special card just for that. But just remember, if you're ever dealing with the gallons into inches cubed, that it's 231 inches cubed is a gallon. And even more important, that 231 breaks down to 3 times 7 times 11. Okay? Mile in feet, feet into miles and yards into miles. Make sure you know those. They pop up all the time. 5280 and 1760. All right. There is a special card just for feet per second to miles per hour. All right. So that's a card just for that. I believe there's a QR code just for that one, so I can skip that one. Fahrenheit to Celsius, Celsius to Fahrenheit. You will see these on I don't know about every test, but you will see them on a lot of tests. So make sure you memorize those 2 formulas, how to convert from Celsius to Fahrenheit and how to go from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And you literally just plug in the number for Fahrenheit, do the math, and Celsius, do the math, okay? Another huge one that people miss all the time, they ask me about, 1 square mile is 640 acres, right? So 640 acres is 1 square mile. So you can fit 640 acres in 1 square mile. That's one that people ask me about a lot. All right. And then I believe after that we get into the blue cards. So let me quickly get over to the blue cards for you. And we've got some more conversions in here, not nearly as many as before. When we get to the red card, there's a ton. 1 liter is how many cubic centimeters? 1 metric ton is how many kilograms, right? We got those. These guys, listen, they have put these on the test lots and lots of times, okay? A mile is 320 rods. 1 rod is about 16.5 feet, and 1 fathom is about 6 feet, okay? So make sure you know those. I have seen both of these on the number sense test in junior high. I have seen fathoms, I think on both. I don't know if I've seen fathoms on the junior high test. You know, you can leave a comment if you've seen them on the junior high test, but I've definitely seen them on the high school test, okay? Make sure you know those. A gross is a dozen, so it's 144. And a baker's dozen is always the same as 1 dozen plus 1. I always say the baker gets 1 of them, right? So 13. Bushels and pecks, and bushels and gallons, right? 1 bushel is 4 pecks, 1 bushel is 8 gallons. They will ask you those every once in a while. This is when they started asking, I think, last year or the year before, right? So it's 2025. I want to say 24 or 23 they had this. 1 gram is 5 carats. All right, that's something if you just know it, you get it right every single time. All right, so those are the blue cards for conversions, and then we're going to get into the red cards, and there's some crazy ones here. Some of these red cards that I'm about to give you are things that only happen on the high school test, and I'll point them out when I get there. Card 153 is the first conversion that I see. Right? These are good approximations of 1 month in minutes and 1 year in hours. Okay. Every once in a while, they used to ask us on the number sense test, number 80. They used to ask these all the time. So I just kept them around. Check out how easy this is to memorize. Look at this: 43210 8765. So look at this: 8765 43210. So it's pretty easy to memorize because of that. Yeah. Remember, those are approximations. Another really good approximation, this is really helpful on calculator tests, but 1 meter squared is about 2.237 miles per hour. I don't really think that's on a number sense test. You know, if I was to do these again, I'd probably take off number sense and just call it a calculator one. And 1 mile is about 1.6-ish kilometers, okay? If you're doing it on a calculator test and you have a 35S, there's a key for converting miles to kilometers, but if you don't have that key, that is the conversion, okay? About 1.6 of them. Now these cards right here, guys, these cards, he was asking all the time on the high school number sense test. These are just some random units of measure that we use in Texas, a lot of them. There are some farming units of measure, okay? But a lot of these come from Texas or Southwest area. So these are just things you just got to memorize, okay? Because they'll ask you questions about them. But that is all the conversions that I have seen over the years. And those are the ones I would be focusing on. Remember, focus on the green cards first, get those down. Focus on the blue cards, and then go to the red cards. So good luck with those, and have fun studying them and memorizing them. Take care.